Mourning, prayers, and shock in Sri Lanka tonight following a series of terror attacks this Easter Sunday. The island country in South Asia was hit by at least 8 explosions this morning, bomb blasts targeting churches and hotels, and grim word tonight that Americans are among the more than 200 people killed. At least 450 more are injured. The near simultaneous blast went off as so many were celebrating this holy day. And tonight, with several people under arrest, Sri Lanka's Prime Minister revealing there was intelligence about possible attacks. NBC's Sarah Harmon starts us off tonight.
The blast shook churches during the holiest day on the Christian calendar. The explosion started just before 9 a.m. Packed Easter services shattered. When it was over, chaos and carnage. Dashcam footage captured the moment one blast ripped through St. Anthony's Shrine in the capital, Colombo. This is what the inside looks like now. The near simultaneous blast targeting 3 churches across the country, and in the capital, 3 luxury hotels popular with tourists. Later, 2 more explosions reported in the city. Witnesses describe the horror.
So I could see a lot of people with glass pierced into their body, people with blood all over them. I saw a lot of chefs from Shangri-La with white apron on, which had been almost painted red, if I could say so, with all the blood of the guests or themselves, I don't know. But yeah, it was very tragic.
Among the dead, 2 U.S. citizens. President Trump tweeting condolences to Sri Lanka, writing, "We stand ready to help." The State Department condemning the terror attacks. Tonight, Sri Lankan police say they've arrested 7 suspects. The Prime Minister acknowledging there was intelligence on possible attacks and now pledging a full investigation. The government has placed the entire country under curfew overnight and blocked access to social media. As Sri Lankans who'd planned to celebrate Easter with their families now plan funerals. Sarah Harmon, NBC News.
And today, Pope Francis condemned what he called the cruel violence of the attacks in Sri Lanka and offered his condolences to the Christian community. During his Easter address in St. Peter's Square, the pontiff also prayed for the resolution of conflicts in war-torn parts of the world. The tiger involved in that attack on a trainer at the Topeka Zoo is back on display.
Now, YouTube viewers, when they were mentioning that attack in the introduction of today's newscast on Channel 4, my iPad, which is how I make all my YouTube videos, was on charge at the time, and it's only at 85% right now, and it wasn't done charging. But I just knew when I heard about those attacks on our brothers and sisters across the world from us here in America, I knew I just had to unplug my iPad so I could record that and what the Bible says about the end times, just so you and I can both know how soon we Christians could leave this earth. Now listen, on the day that I made this, it is Easter Sunday. It is Easter Sunday. Sorry. It is Easter Sunday, 2019. Now listen to what Matthew 24 says about the end of time. Just give me one moment.
Matthew 24. And Jesus went out, and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him, for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye, that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass, till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give them meat in due season? blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day, when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
YouTube viewers, in Daniel chapter 11 or 12, it says, before the end of time, that knowledge will be increased. Do you realize 100 years ago, there was no TV, there was no phone of any kind, there was no iPad, there was no iPod, there were no cars, trains, and planes. 150 years ago, none of the things we have today as far as technology-wise existed. None of it did. Now, like I said, that's either in Daniel chapter 11 or 12, I forget which. But listen, if you will go back and listen to the news clip I just played for you in this video, you will see that we Christians could leave this earth anytime. If you are ever up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., that could be the time. If you are ever up between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., that could be the time. We Christians could leave at any time, day or night. We could leave this earth before you are finished watching this video, or before it's done uploading, or before I'm finished making this video. YouTube viewers, Christians especially, keep in mind, Jesus could come in the middle of the night. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.